will be tomorrow with myself, Matt Chilton and Emma Carrick-Anderson. You can check out all the timings via our website, yahoo.eurosport.com. This is the scene in Montafon, a lovely sunny morning in the Austrian Alps. Not too much snow around, but the temperature's due to drop in the next few days, and hopefully the snow cannons can work and more natural snow will be on its way. Well, we still haven't had the decision about what happened with Heat 4. Yeah, that's the lineup, that first top one. Tomoka, Takeuchi. Now Takeuchi and Shiba will take on Karl and Schöffmann. So there won't be a rerun. Benjamin Karl and Sabina Schöffmann have been granted access through to the second round. So Austria 1 progressing. All the signs pointed to a rerun. Benjamin Karl seemed to be happy with that, but the jury have obviously stepped in and decided that Kentaro Yoshioka was at fault as he distracted Benjamin. So Austria 1 progressing. All the signs pointed to a rerun. Benjamin Karl seemed to be happy with that, but the jury have obviously stepped in and decided that Kentaro Yoshioka was at fault as he distracted Benjamin Karl. And so there won't be a rerun after all. So the parallel team event continues here into the quarter-final stage. First up, we'll have Italy 1 versus Germany 2. As they're lined up in the start gate, Nadia Ochner and Roland Fischnaller taking on Isabella Labocque and Stefan Baumeister of Germany 2. Ready to go. First of the quarter-finals here in the inaugural snowboard parallel slalom team event is underway. Tuesday's bronze medalist and corrector Nadia Ochner taking on Isabella Labocque of Germany 2. Ochner easy to spot in the stripy Italian team snowboarding pants, but she's got a little bit of work to do. It's about a 2-run race because Ochner will pass on to Roland Fischnaller and Labocque will hand over to Stefan Baumeister, and those two are now released onto the course. Fischnaller is on fantastic form, we know about that, and he doesn't have to try too hard because Baumeister has gone out of the course. So this is an exhibition run now for Roland Fischnaller, who will take Italy 1 through to the semi-finals. The first semi-final team is confirmed. Fischnaller and Ochner are through. No further racing today for Baumeister and Labocque. Well, it's got to be tough for a rider coming down against the in-form snowboarder of the season so far, who's had 2 victories in the same week. Roland Fischnaller, the winner of yesterday's parallel slalom, the winner of Tuesday's parallel giant slalom, set up nicely by Nadia Ochner, who was 3rd on Tuesday. And Baumeister, Stefan Baumeister here, pushing too hard as he attempted to stay with Roland Fischnaller. And in the end, those efforts caught up with him. Down he went and out of the race. And from here on in, Fischnaller just had to stay on his feet and finish. And he and Nadia Ochner are in the semi-finals. So they'll make their way back to the top for their next round. Guaranteed at least a shot at the podium now. Fischnaller and Ochner. And they'll face the winners of the next quarter-final, which sees Austria 1, Karl and Schöffmann, taking on Takeuchi and Shiba of Japan. Japan won. They defeated Japan 2 in the first run, taking on Japan 1 in the second round. Now the Auckland heading over to where the snowmobiles are parked. That's the quickest way to the top of the course. Hitch a ride. That's how it's done. Roland Fishnella gets his own transport back to the top. What a week it's been for Fishnella. Double World Cup winner. Twice in a week. And through to the semi-finals of the team event today.
Okay. Ready.
So here we go. Austria won in the blue course. Japan won in the red course. And they're racing. Sabina Schöffmann taking on Masaki Shiba. I beg your pardon, Tomoka Takeuchi, who's riding the first leg for Japan 1. Yesterday's winner, Sabina Schöffmann, flying through the first few turns, but she's got work to do here. No point in pushing too hard. There's a second run to come with the men waiting at the top, and they are released now. Benjamin Karl out onto the blue course, up against the Japanese rider Masaki Shiba. Shiba pushing hard. Benjamin Karl holding his own. Karl is just about in front. This one's going to be tight. Karl needs to find some speed on the bottom part of the course. Shiba's giving him a right run for his money here. Karl makes a mistake, has let the Japanese in. Oh, 1/100th of a second. Japan are through. One mistake, 2 gates from home, and that's what it means to Shiba and Takeuchi. Benjamin Karl, 2 gates from home, skidded slightly offline, and he and yesterday's winner, Schöffmann, are out of the contest. So the first semi-final will see Italy 1 taking on Japan 1. Now let's see if we can spot this mistake from Benjamin Karl, just coming in towards the finish. There, little skid sideways, got out of the racing line, and that made the difference. 1/100th of a second was all that separated them. Coming towards the line here. Possible to spot with the naked eye, but the clock tells you that it was as tight as it gets. 1/100th of a second. And what a result that is for Masaki Shiba. And the Austrian coach, who had such a good day yesterday with victory for Sabina Schöffmann, holds his head in his hands. So the Japanese riders looking for their ride back to the top. Motorised ride. And we'll head back to the start hut where Andy Promiger and Marion Kreiner of... let's get this right. Yeah, it's Koba and Bergman against Zavozina and Wild. Russia 1 versus Germany 1. They're underway. Russia 1, the husband and wife side, Vic Wild and Elena Zavozina, up against Alexander Bergman and Amelie Koba. It's a good start in the blue course. And that's the scene at the top. Vic Wild out onto the hill, just fractionally ahead of Alex Bergman of Germany 1. Bergman trying to close the gap now. But there's the double Olympic champion doing what he does best. The American-born Russian ripping it up here. Alex Bergman having to push really hard and take risks. The risks are paying off for him so far. Now it's down to the key part of the course. I think Bergman's done it. He has 1600ths of a second. That's a big shot. Bergman and Koba through to the semi-finals. Germany won, defeating the Russian favourites. Terrific finish from Alexander Bergman. Up against Vic Wild, who we know is on excellent form. It all started with the race between Elena Zavozina and Amelie Koba. That was pretty tight. They came out of the gate in quick succession, the men. And Bergman kept tabs on Wild all the way through. And just had enough. 1600ths of a second in hand. Enough to take the win, despite a couple of stumbles along the way. Vic Wild threw it all down the hill. But it wasn't enough. Back at the top, Gardner and Calv of Canada are taking on the brother and sister pair Sobolev and Soboleva.
Okay.
Ready to race.
Ready.
Caroline Calv, Darren Gardner, Natalia Soboleva, Andrei Sobolev. Here we go. Canada 1 versus Russia 2. Caroline Calv out and running. Soboleva in the red course, wild upper body movement. Calv going nicely so far, good and tight on the blue course turns. Red course marginally in front. Soboleva opening up a handy lead here. And at the top, the men are released. First, Andrei Sobolev on the red course. And then a fight here for Darren Gardner in the blue. I think Gardner must hope for a mistake from Andrei Sobolev. He's got his eyes on the Russian in front of him, as well as on the blue gates that are up and coming. Sobolev looks pretty solid at this stage, staying on his feet. Gardner pushing hard over the last few turns and can't make it. He's missed a turn. So Soboleva and Sobolev are through to face Bergman and Koba in the second semi-final. That's the lineup. Germany 1 versus Russia 2. Really good setup from Natalia Soboleva. Rode well in the opening run and handed her brother a tasty lead of about half a second, and he wasn't going to let that slip. Darren Gardner unable to close the gap, and as he pushed too hard on the bottom part of the course, he eventually missed a gate. So let's reflect then on the two semi-final lineups that we've got. Italy 1 versus Japan 1, Germany 1 versus Russia 2 is what's coming up. That's what's in store now. To the top of the course, courtesy of the snowmobiles. What a beautiful panorama that is, the Montafon Valley. Not as much snow as they would normally expect at this time of year, but it's not too bad. And there they go, Natalia Soboleva getting a lift up the hill, back to the top of the course. She will be involved in semi-final number 2. The first semi-final, Italy 1, sees the pre-race favourites Fishnala and Ochner taking on Takeuchi and Shiba of Japan. Semi-final number 2 involves Alex Bergman and Amelie Koba taking on Andrei Sobolev and Natalia Soboleva. That's a nice atmosphere at the top of the course. We'll take a quick break while the riders make their way to the start. Riders making their way back to the top of the course, ready for the semi-finals of this inaugural snowboard parallel slalom team event. And the course is being posted at the top. You can see who's in blue and who's in red. So it'll be female versus female, male versus male. They haven't veered from that standard format often in the race so far, although it has happened. Uwe Bayer, who's in charge of proceedings here. So there's Nadia Ochner in the blue course start gate. Her opponent will be Tomoka Takeuchi of Japan 1. Ochner will hand over to Fishnala, Takeuchi to Shiba. They're ready to go. Semi-final number 1 is underway. Nadia Ochner, third on Tuesday in the parallel GS in Katowice on home snow, taking on Tomoko Takeuchi in the first round here. Takeuchi is a tough competitor always, solid rider. Ochner's enjoying excellent form so far this week, and Ochner just about in front. Onto the change of terrain, it gets a little steeper here, and Takeuchi is fighting back, and they cross the line simultaneously, which means that there's nothing to choose at the top between Fishnala and Masaki Shiba. Roland Fishnala taking on the exciting Japanese rider Masaki Shiba. Roland Fishnala with 2 wins already this week. Can he be beaten? Can Shiba push the Italian right to the limit here? He's taking a chance. He might miss that gate. That might have cost him. It has. Ochner and Fishnala are through to the final. Italy 1 will be on the podium again. Yet another podium for the Italians. That's guaranteed. Japan 1 will have to go in the so-called small final, the consolation round. Cracking race. Italy 1 coming out on top. Started brilliantly for Takeuchi, and she gave Masaki Shiba every chance. In the end, Shiba matched Roland Fishnala all the way down the course. It was just that section, 4 gates from home, where he lost his way for a split second that allowed Roland Fishnala back in for the win. I think we'll see that mistake here, just coming onto the pitch. Fishnala was in danger of losing this right here. That's where Shiba went astray. Fishnala's line was more direct, and it kept him in front, put him in front. Takeuchi held his Shiba held his head in his hands. We've seen this all week from the Italian coaches. High fives and hugs all round. What a cracking week they're having. 2 wins already. Ochner's podium midweek. They might get another win today, and they will, from the Italian coaches. High fives and hugs all round. What a cracking week they're having. 2 wins already. Ochner's podium midweek. They might get another win today, and they will take on one of these 2 pairs in the final. So Bergman and Koba of Germany 1 taking on Sobolev and Sobolev of Russia 2. Germans in the red course. They're ready to go. Semi-final number 2 is up and running. Koba versus Soboleva to start with. Amelie Koba in the red course. Natalia Soboleva of Russia in the blue. Wild upper body movement as she tries to accelerate the board through the turns. A much calmer upper body from Amelie Koba, but it's the Russian who's stolen the lead here. Soboleva getting a little late on the bottom part of the course, and the gap has narrowed. Away they go at the top. Sobolev taking on Bergman. Bergman's been mighty impressive in this contest so far. This is his opponent now, Andrei Sobolev with the checkered pants. Alex Bergman riding a great line all morning, ripping it up through the course. He's got the lead. Can he hold it now? He might have just blown it. Sobolev back in contention here. It's going to be very tight. It's Sobolev and Soboleva who go through. Russia are into the final. Russia 2 will take on Italy 1. And Bergman blew it with 2 gates to go. Well, it's heating up here in Montafon in more ways than one. As the sun comes out, the racing is red hot as well. This was the first run from Natalia Soboleva. And when she handed over to her brother, he was up against it with Alex Bergman riding a really direct line, but Andre kept his head. And then when Alex Bergman made that mistake 2 gates from home, Bergman was riding beautifully to start with, just got slightly late. Wasn't here, it was a little later on. This is the top of the course. Mistake here for Alex Bergman. Went a little wide, hand went down, he had to adjust to fight for his rhythm. And that left the door open for Andrei Sobolev to come through and clinch it for Russia 2. Russia 2. And the last 2 races, the small final and the medal round, will be next.
Eurosport Player is the Eurosport multi-screen service. With Eurosport Player, watch Eurosport and Eurosport 2 live on all your favorite devices through a single subscription. Follow great sporting events live and on demand. Enjoy exclusive content featuring a variety of bonus channels. Eurosport Player. All sports, all emotions, all screens.
Welcome back to Montafon. Beautiful morning now, and we have 2 races to come. Japan 1 versus Germany 1 in the consolation round, the battle for 3rd and 4th, followed by Italy 1 versus Russia 2 in the main event. The race for the title here. What a week it's been for the Italians and their coaches, with victory twice for Roland Fischnaller in Tuesday's PGS and then in yesterday's parallel slalom here. Nadia Ochner was also getting involved with a third place in Tuesday's parallel giant slalom on home snow in Carezza, and then Mirko Felicetti got involved in the action with third place in yesterday's men's parallel slalom. So it's been podiums all round so far for the Italians, and they're guaranteed at least second place here today in this inaugural parallel slalom team event. What a sight that is. Snow on the peaks of the Austrian Alps. Now we get the lineup. It'll be Koba going first in the red course. So Germany one will be in red. Koba against Takeuchi. Bergman against Shiba. Soboleva will, I'm assuming, go up against Nadia Ochner, unless they reverse it and put female against male. No, it's sticking with the traditional female versus female, male versus male. The small final, Japan won, Tomoka Takeuchi and Masaki Shiba against Amelie Koba and Alex Bergman from Germany won. And then the main event, the big final as it's known, Roland Fischnaller against Roland Fischnaller and Nadia Ochner taking on Natalia Soboleva and Andrei Sobolev from Russia too. Now this is the calm before the storm here in Montafon. The parallel team event small final is about to get underway. 2 races to go. Then we'll know who wins this first ever parallel team event, which has been a success, helped of course by the improvement in the weather conditions. Uwe Bayer, I think, is happy for things to begin, and the races are ready to go. The small final, this to see who gets on the podium in third place. It'll be Koba and Bergman against Takeuchi and Shiba. Japan are in the blue. Germany are in the red course. Amelie Koba against Tomoka Takeuchi to get things going. Here's the countdown. There's the green light. The gate's open. The race is on. The small final is underway. Koba of Germany in the red course. Takeuchi in the red course. Takeuchi of Japan in blue. A little mistake from Takeuchi. She lost all her speed and had extra mileage under her board, and that has given a great lift and a massive boost to the chances of Koba and Bergman in the red course. 1 gate ahead. Bergman will come out with such an advantage here. He hits the second gate before Shiba reaches gate number 1, but then makes a mess of it. Oh, goodness me. Talking about throwing away a gift. Alex Bergman rides out. Masaki Shiba rides on and rides to victory in the small final, and therefore a podium place in the first ever parallel team event here. Tomoka Takeuchi set things up, although she was some way behind, and Masaki Shiba capitalized on Alex Bergman's unbelievable mistake. Unfathomable exactly what happened to Alex Bergman there. We'll see it again, I'm sure. And he's delighted. Masaki Shiba on the podium. He and Tomoka Takeuchi for Japan. Now, this is how it started. With Koba taking on Takeuchi. Takeuchi made a mistake here, went way out of the racing line, had to adjust, put the brakes on, stayed on course, that was key. The lead that Bergman had was massive, but somewhere along the line things went horribly wrong for Alex Bergman as he hooked his hand through that gate. He couldn't keep himself upright, took the gate right out of its anchorings and bounced off the netting, and an unexpected lead opened up for Masaki Shiba, and he took full advantage. So we know about third place. It's all about the battle for victory now between Italy 1 and Russia 2. Now, Shiba couldn't be happier. And Tomoka Takeuchi probably thought that her chance of a podium had gone after her mistake in the first run. But they are third today. Japan won on the podium. Now they'll see who, well, they know who they'll be with on the podium, but in which order first and second will stand. We'll head back to the top. We'll head back to the top. And ready to go is Natalia Soboleva. So Nadia Okna in the blue course for Italy, Natalia Soboleva in the red course for Russia. Italy 1 versus Russia 2. The final of the first ever snowboard parallel team event is about to get underway here in Montafon. The riders are ready. Here's the clock, the countdown. Red to green, and green means go. Nadia Okna out of the gate into the blue course. She'll hand over to Roland Fischnaller, looking for his third World Cup win of the week. Natalia Soboleva riding the opening leg for Russia 2. She'll hand over to her brother, Andrei Sobolev. Nadia Okna versus Natalia Soboleva to kick things off. A narrow lead for Okna, but with Fischnaller on fine form, it could just be what he needs. Fischnaller is away. Sobolev having to play catch-up. Can he catch the man who's on the best form on the World Cup Tour so far this season? Looking for his third World Cup win of the week. Sobolev's pushing hard. He's right alongside Fischnaller. He's closed the gap. Fischnaller holding his nerve. Last couple of gates to go. This is very, very tight. 0.05 of a second, and victory goes to Italy. Roland Fischnaller takes 3 World Cup wins in the same week, and there they are again. They can't believe what's happening to them, the Italian coaches. Roland Fischnaller partnering Nadia Okna win the first ever snowboard parallel team event here in Montafon. Second place goes to the team from Russia, Russia number 2, Andrei Sobolev and Natalia Soboleva. 0.05 of a second was all that separated them, but it was enough to mean that it's a week that Roland Fischnaller will never ever forget. Natalia Soboleva trying to smile through what must be a painful experience, having come so close. These guys have loved it. What a week they've had. Victory on Tuesday for Roland Fischnaller in the Karetsa Parallel Giant Slalom on home snow. On the same day, Nadia Okna got on the podium. On Thursday, here in Montafon, Fischnaller won again in the first parallel slalom of the season. Joined on the podium by Mirko Felicetti, also from Italy. And to top it all, they've come through to win the team event on the final day of the week's World Cup parallel racing, with Nadia Okna setting the pace and Roland finishing it off for Italy 1 by 0.05 of a second. And this is how Fischnaller won his third World Cup race of the season. It wasn't faultless, but he did enough. .05 of a second, this is what it looks like. Just half the length of a snowboard boot. And the coaches are there again. Fantastic couple of days of racing, firstly in Carezza, now in Montafon. What a weekend for Fishnala and the Italians. So, we've got confirmation of the final rankings. Italy won, take 1,000 World Cup points. Russia 2, Japan 1 next, then Germany, Austria 1. Russia 1, Canada 1, Germany 2, Switzerland 1, and Austria 2 down in 10th position. There's plenty more winter sports to come. If you switch over to Eurosport 1 shortly, then we will be heading across the Alps to Val Gardena, first classic downhill of the season, with the camel bumps, and that's the scene in the shadow of the Saslong mountain. Not much snow, but enough. Snow cannons and natural snow have covered the course sufficiently in white to make the race possible. Nick Fellows and John Clark are in position waiting for your company, and they will be broadcasting shortly, if indeed they are already, on Eurosport 1. But for me, Matt Chilton, thank you very much for your company. See you for women's downhill from Val d'Isère tomorrow. Bye for now.